Welcome back, everybody, to an episode of Yeah, No, No, Yeah. We are back from our short hiatus. I'm back from vacation, and we're excited to be back and putting out episodes again. In this one, we're doing a bit of a double discussion. We talk about both Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, as well as Beau Is Afraid, the new Ari Aster movie, with some other topics in there, of course, many topics and what we've been watching, and ending it with listener questions as always. Feel free to check out the link trees in the description of the episode and the podcast if you want to reach out to us on our social medias and also submit questions. And if you want to become a Patreon, there is the links in those episode descriptions and in the podcast episode description as well. Speaking of Patreons, I wanted to shout out our current patrons who we are very thankful for. You can check them out on Instagram and go support them as well. We have Kath.reviews, moving___pictures, Sarah's Popcorn Chat, Our Door Film, and Luna____pearl. So thank you guys so much for the support. Check them out on Instagram. We really appreciate it. And yeah, with that being said, welcome back. Let's get into the episode. Good to see you too. We're back. We're back after a little break.
Yes, we're recording right off the bat because we missed a lot of valuable shit last time.
I know, I feel like every time as soon as, some of the best stuff is before we're recording, so.
As a first things first, 30 episodes. Wow.
Oh wow, this is our 30th. Ooh.
Another landmark. Very nice.
I totally forgot it was our 30th. Oh
yeah,
my
I
gosh.
just realized, right when I was looking at the last episode, I'm like, oh yeah, this is our 30th. Wow.
It's just been flying by. Really has.
The last 10 have, flown by so quick. And I think it's because of the whole, 2-week thing, you know?
Yeah, it definitely has been. It's been a little over a year now. 30 episodes, that's not bad. That's a good run we've had so far.
Yeah.
And we're still going.
Variety of topics.
A lot more guests to be had, but...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I feel like I forgot so much, how to do the podcast, while you were gone. Because it's just oh my God, what am I going to be like when I go back into it?
Was that the longest that we went without recording? I
mean, probably not, but I don't know. It just feels like because we have such a good, structure and, understanding True. Of how to do it now, it's like a routine. And, when you don't do it, it's like, oh, wait, what?
Yeah. Well, after coming back from vacation, everything that I used to do was just I had to get so used to it again, all my work stuff and then this I forgot how to do anything because for 2 weeks I literally just woke up and just I could be the laziest person ever if I wanted to. We had no responsibilities for 2 weeks and it was great.
That would have been cool. Well, talk about the trip.
That's why we took a break. But yeah, me and Kath, people listening know her as Kath.reviews, but my girlfriend, we traveled to Arizona because my family has a little vacation home down there, and it was just much needed vacation. We hiked up a bunch of mountains. We went to a lot of parks. We went out to a lot of different restaurants.
I kept seeing them, and I felt so bad for Kath. I'm like, is she good with all this hiking? Holy shit!
I was pretty proud of her because she was doing good, but there were definitely times to where it was getting towards the end of the day and we had been walking so much and we were both just so tired. But especially it definitely took a toll on her, on both of us. We were so sore by the end of the trip.
I imagine the ones that we did are child's play in comparison, probably.
Which ones? The
Spirit Mound and that other one that we went to, the one that's on the border of Nebraska.
Yeah,
or is it Nevada? I can never remember.
Nebraska. Yeah.
Okay.
Nebraska.
I don't know where things are in America.
Mulberry Bend was the one that was on the border of
that's the one.
Nebraska. Yeah. But then Spirit Mound, that's literally nothing compared to some of the stuff we did. It was just way too intense, but it was fun and it was you felt good after it, you accomplished something. The weather was perfect, just perfect weather, perfect schedule we had, just perfect everything. It was literally, I've been telling people it was the best 2 weeks of my life, and I really think it was. Wow. It was just, everything was perfect. It was the best trip ever. I miss it. It just flew by. I didn't think Arizona would be that exciting, but there was just a ton of stuff we did. The only other thing I really wanted to mention was I heard that like you and Julia might be thinking about doing this, but a rage room.
Oh yeah, I would love to do that, but I think I would like get a bit too into it probably. Like I have some demons up here.
No, that's for sure, because like that's what one of the things me and Kath did. It was definitely a highlight of the trip. We found a rage room that was only like, it was only like 10 minutes from where we were staying. It can be a bit expensive, even with like I found like a coupon for it and it was still kind of expensive, but it was totally worth it. Like, it was better than any therapy I've ever had. Like, you just literally, like, they give you a bin of this stuff to break, just from bottles to like keyboards to, you can like buy extra stuff to add on. I had them add on a printer because I really wanted to beat the shit out of a printer for some reason. And then there's just baseball bats and like crowbars hanging on the wall, and you could just grab it and just set stuff up and fucking swing away.
That sounds good.
It was so good. Like, we were only in there for like 30 minutes, and we were just like tired and sweating and like breathing heavy after it, because we were just so into it. Yeah, you guys have to do it, because we felt so good afterwards. We just felt so calm, and like we just couldn't stop smiling. And then we went to go get ice cream right after it. Like, it was just the perfect...
There's probably ones in Australia that I could do, but I feel like if you go on your own, it looks probably bad.
I'm sure there's people that go on their own, but it's definitely a fun thing to do. It's a fun date thing. It's a really fun date thing. So like, you guys got to do it. It's
on our next one, whenever that happens.
They even have like a big, I'm guessing they do this maybe at every one, but they had it at our one. They had a Bluetooth speaker on the wall that you could hook your phone up to. And so God. Like me and Kath, I found just some like really heavy, like just like fucking
tell me there was some death grips in there, please.
Oh, that would have been perfect.
What?
Damn it. Why did I think of Death Grips? No, I put like a Metallica song on there. I put like a Disturbed song, and like just like, some like hard rock, heavy metal that I like grew up listening to. I just threw in there, but Death Grips would have been perfect.
God, that sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. And you met Sir Tone.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh!
One of our recent guests.
I forgot to mention that. Yeah. Sir Tone, who we had on our 20th episode or 20? No, it was a little
24th,
after that.
24th, I think.
Yeah, I met up with him because he lived only an hour away from where we were staying. We hung out, got some food, went to like an arcade. It was really fun. He's just like he is online, as you can imagine him. Like, he was just like that. So yeah. I was pretty used to it right off the bat. And then also, we haven't like had him on as a guest or anything or talked much about him, but for those on Instagram, Lulu Reviews, I met up with him too for a night. We went to like an arcade bar.
I think I chatted like vaguely with him about like coming on the podcast at one point. So
yeah, that'd be cool. We hadn't really talked much before that, but he wanted to meet up because he knew we were going to be in the area. And yeah, we went to an arcade bar with him and his wife, and it was just really fun. And so yeah, just a lot of stuff we packed our schedule with, and it was perfect. Like I said,
I found out like while Julia was over here, because this guy was messaging me that apparently I have another Perth Filmstagram person, but I didn't realize. And his birthday is like 10 days from mine, like even like same year and everything.
Oh wow.
So I was like, that's crazy. But Rogue that? Squadron, you know him?
I might actually. Yeah, I think I might follow him.
He lives like not far from me at all.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, you just gotta like take advantage of like any time you're around. It's so weird. Me and Kath were saying that like it's to the point to where anywhere we travel, there's probably at least one Filmstagrammer like around the area that you could meet up with. There really is, which is crazy.
It's a big and growing community. Sometimes it's growing a little too much.
A little too much, and I definitely wouldn't hang out with like everybody and anybody on there. Like it's a handful of people I would want to like actually meet up with.
Yeah, there are some where I'm just like, I don't know if I want to meet this person.
No, yeah, there is some of those.
I was like going through like an unfollowing like spree 6 months ago or something like that, but I didn't realize like how many accounts like I followed that were like completely just dead. Like they haven't posted anything in years and years. Like so many people give up on it and just don't do it anymore.
I noticed that too. I feel like I have to go through like every few months and do that, because there is people that if you haven't posted since like 2021, then I'm totally unfollowing. I'm sorry, but like you're not coming back after 2 years. And if you do, then you're probably just going to leave again. So
even like early 2022 now, I'm like, nah, get out of here.
Yeah, a full year. Like, how do you go a full year without posting,
Then again, like if they people that like are still active in like supporting posts and things like that, then I'm like, okay, like fair enough. Like you're still an active user. It's just you don't post anymore.
Yeah, if I know that they're like alive and interacting with me, I'll stay follow to them. But yeah, there's a ton of dead accounts.
So how's it been getting back to work and everything?
It was kind of rough. Like I went back to work literally the day after I got back, so like I was still kind of tired from the time zone changes and just not enough sleep.
I wish I could get started working. Fuck me. I've just like got some more training that I got to do, online training, and then I can start a shift like probably next week. But it's just taken ages because they forgot things with like an email or whatever, and I didn't get it until late. So I was like, just let me fucking work, please. Like I'm just going insane right now.
Yeah. That would drive me crazy too.
I haven't worked since October 25th.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so difficult to just just start back at work. Like these businesses make it so difficult. Hopefully it's better than your last one.
It would have to be. That was terrible.
I'm sure it will be. Yeah, it can't get much worse, I'm sure.
I don't think I've been doing all that much since the last episode, really. I've just sort of been chilling. I've tried to like do as many things I can with like my YouTube and all that stuff, but it's been so hard lately. Do you have mini topics or anything?
No, like I said, my only mini topic was just kind of the trip.
I have like one thing, but that's really about it.
Oh, and I didn't know, I guess, after the topics, before the discussions, if we still wanting to like pick out a few significant things we watched recently, if you have watched anything.
Fuck me, I totally forgot about that. But I mean,
just like a couple things.
I've watched like nothing.
A lot of mine were just rewatches, so I only have like a couple ones that really stood out that were new watches anyway. So
it'll have to be rewatches for me because like I don't know if you saw that. You saw that thing I wrote, but it was 2 movies in April. 2.
Damn. Yeah, I go through like phases to where I'll either watch like several movies a day, or I'll go like a week without watching movies. It's just so extreme.
All right, do you want to do that first, or do you want me to just do my one mini topic?
I thought maybe we could do like the mini topics and then do our little what we've been watching before the main topic, or if...
Yeah, sure. It's just one, but like I saw this video recently like going over this subject, and like it's split up into like a few years. Like it's not something that's happened very regularly, but it's like 2023, 2017, and 2013 it's happened. Robots have killed themselves.
What?
Like committed suicide, basically.
Oh, yeah. Robots have?
Yeah.
What? Oh man.
I'll read the like
continue with the AI trend.
I'll read the most recent one, like just the headline. A video of an AI robot killing itself after experiencing 15 minutes of wage slavery has startled many users across social media. Basically, it was just like lifting boxes up and down for 15 minutes and then it decided to kill itself.
Oh my god, how did it kill itself? Just like
it just turned itself off and it like fell over.
I thought it just like jumped off of a building or like I don't know, did something.
No, it was like it was actually displaying like showing all of that stuff in front of like a crowd that had come to watch as well. And it just was doing it and then fucking fell over and died.
It's so disturbing. It experienced being human for 15 minutes and decided life sucks, and then
I guess
just gonna end it. Damn.
The 2013 one is like kind of interesting as well because like it was a cleaning robot and it committed suicide by climbing onto a kitchen hot plate where it was burned to death. And it burned the house down that it was in as well. So
robots are crazy.
And the last one was one in 2017 where a DC security robot quits job by drowning itself in a fountain.
Well, I didn't know this had happened multiple times.
Yeah, me neither.
Robots killing themselves all over.
But it's stretched out across so many years, which is the weird thing. But I think the 2023 one like sparked a lot of people looking into it more.
Probably, especially now since AI is such a big thing. I guess it's better them killing themselves than trying to world dominate us, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's either one or the other. They're gonna
maybe they just know they can't win because humans are too powerful.
Maybe, or this is just part of their plan to make us think that they're not going to be a problem. Either way, AI is scary. It's a recurring theme on here.
We always got to have an AI topic somewhere.
There's always something happening with it.
And that whole like music thing that we talked about last time, that's getting worse now actually. Oh, like, gosh. I don't know if you've seen, but it's like really ramped up. I don't know what, I mean, of course, like a lot of it is on TikTok. Like a lot of people will post like, you know, versions of certain songs by like a different artist that is like dead or whatever. Like I saw like a Freddie Mercury, Michael Jackson like mashup of some Weekend song or whatever, and I was like, what the fuck? It was just like awful, but also just so distasteful. Like I don't know why people are okay with like posting this. It's just weird.
Like literally just before we started recording, I was kind of just scrolling through Instagram and I found this video of like it was a joke, but it said a lot of these popular songs people don't realize Elvis had sang first, and then it was just like modern songs but with like Elvis's voice over it, and it sounded so real that people in the comments were actually questioning it. But yeah, it is, you can just duplicate anything now. So, and I think I saw something that like Spotify is at least blocking like AI generated music or something, so that's good. I think I saw that. I mean, I'm sure somebody can fact check me, but I think I saw that. As they should, they should. I mean,
music and like TikTok is such a big thing right now. Like you'll get so many like playlists like on Spotify that are like, a bunch of like TikTok songs or like whatever, like to suit a certain theme or whatever. And like so many TikTok songs are just like regular songs but sped up slightly. And it's the worst fucking thing ever.
I know, I hate it.
Horrible.
I hate it.
I think I actually underestimated how stupid people on TikTok are. And I don't know how I'm saying that or what I expected, but like I've started to realize recently, especially by like going to a lot of comment sections and stuff on there, like these people are so fucking dumb.
That's TikTok for you. That's why I still refuse to get on there.
I just don't want to read the comments anymore, that's all. Because like it gives me no faith in humanity whatsoever.
Anybody can. It's a bunch of kids too. Like little kids shouldn't be on TikTok.
Even adults. Like there are a lot of adults on there. Like you can see they're an adult and everything, but they say the dumbest shit.
TikTok and AI, not good things. Not things I enjoy. Just hope that humanity gets in a better place. Things that we watched. I have like 3. 2 are movies and 1's a show I've been watching. I just wanted to talk about.
Are they all like new watches?
Yeah, these are. None of them are rewatches. We watched a bunch of movies on the trip with Kath, and these were 2 movies that she showed me that she loved, like some of her favorites she showed me for the first time. First one is called Deerskin. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it came out in 2019. It's by this like French director, I think. Kath was telling me that like it's similar. It's like kind of like the house that Jack built. And so that really got me excited. And I watched it, and I could definitely see how there's some similarities. But yeah, this was just hilarious. It's a dark comedy about this French guy who becomes obsessed with like, he just blows all of his money on this jacket. And he starts just like becoming obsessed with it and almost talking to it and saying what he thinks the jacket is saying. And then he like gets this idea in his head that like that nobody else in the world can wear a jacket, only he can wear one. So anytime he sees somebody with a jacket, then I don't want to go on. Actually, I might be spoiling some of it, but he just does some extreme shit, and it's a dark comedy. It's just unlike anything I've really ever seen, but I know that you would like it, so you got to check that out for sure.
Yeah, I think I knew that plot line and everything, but I never got around to checking it out.
It was really fun. And then another movie that she showed me, I watched About Time.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's so good. With Donald Gleason and Rachel McAdams. Like the cast I already loved, about it, but I don't know, I was hesitant. I just didn't know if it'd be a movie I would like. Watching it with Kath, that made it better, and just the story was unique, and it's just a fun twist on the rom-com, and it really just like makes you appreciate the little moments in life, as you're in them.
I think it markets itself really badly, but it's actually like a really good movie.
It is, yeah. It's kind of cheesy, but like it's so like fun and like unique, and yeah, just a feel-good movie. So I loved both of the movies that she showed me. The only other thing I wanted to talk about, even though I'd been watching a lot of movies, just yesterday I actually started this, and I've been kind of binging it since. I was at work and I was just looking for something to watch. I have been watching that Netflix limited series Beef. I know you've heard of it. It's just as good as everyone's been saying, actually. I was like kind of putting it off because anytime a big show comes out that everyone's obsessed with, then like I don't feel like jumping on it. But I mean, I'm like halfway through, and it is just so good. So I haven't even finished it yet, but Yeah, you definitely have to check it out. I mean, it's A24. It's funny, but it's also like has a lot to say, and Stephen Young is amazing in it. Everyone's amazing in it, but he's like really good. And yeah, so I can't wait to continue it. It's one of the best shows I've seen in a while.
I'm sure I'll get around to it one day, but I'm terrible with shows.
Me too.
There's like one watch that I could talk about, like that's a new watch, and it's just The Naked Gun. I watched that. Yeah, and it was good. I give it an 8 out of 10. Like, I'm pretty sure that I would enjoy Airplane more, from what I know. But
yeah,
The Naked Gun is, like, really, really funny. It had so many gags in it that just, like, fucking sent me. But
I haven't even seen Naked Gun yet.
So there's, like, some moments where it's, like, a little bit too silly, and I'm just like, for the most part, it's really, really good and funny.
That's pretty much what Airplane's like too, is like there are some parts that go a bit too stupid and silly, but I think you'll like Airplane a lot too. I love Airplane. It's probably that same style of humor.
Leslie Nielsen's just so funny. He's hilarious.
He is.
He just delivers his lines so perfectly every time. It's great.
He's really good. Which of these were you wanting to talk about first?
I'll leave it up to you.
Oh man, I don't know. Let's talk about the lighter movie first, because I feel like I could go. Beau Is Afraid it'll take a lot. We could talk about Guardians, which is the most recent one that we both watched out of these two. So,
like I said, I haven't written a review for it or anything yet, but like I'm sort of halfway through it, and I know my general thoughts. But yeah, like fuck, man, fuck.
I know. I finally liked a Marvel movie again, or not. I shouldn't say liked, but loved. I would say I pretty much loved it.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, it didn't like give me hope for Marvel in the future.
Yeah.
But it gave me like just what I wanted in the moment from Marvel. So
exactly.
That's great.
Like I don't expect every Marvel movie after this to match it or anything. Like so I mean it's just, I knew it was going to be good because I mean James Gunn and the Guardians movies have been like consistently good throughout the MCU, so I mean I knew that this wouldn't just randomly be bad or anything, but yeah, it was really, really good. Where to start?
If you know me at all, you'll know why the opening fucking got me immediately.
I'll think then. Oh, the opening.
Okay, do you remember the opening?
Yeah.
It was like Rocket's eyes, and it zooms out, and there's a certain song playing. It's Radiohead.
Oh yeah. Creep.
Yeah, the acoustic version as well, which I really like. I've always loved that version of it. Yeah. But like, it's just like I heard that like start to come in, and I was like, no fucking way. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, the opening scene alone, then you pretty much are told like this is centered around Rocket and like his story. Yeah. So that was kind of cool, like focusing in on a certain one of them and like gaining a lot more backstory and insight into them. And it definitely will make you watch the other movies differently, probably knowing all of this.
I don't want to sound like a, I'm better than you kind of thing or whatever, but like it's just even like before this, like I feel like Rocket was my favorite Guardian, like for quite a while, just because like in that first movie he does have like that one like moment where he sort of, you feel like he opens up a little bit, but like it's not,
I remember that.
Yeah, but it's not like a huge amount, and you're just like, wow, there's like probably something more to this character and I want to see it, but it's only really been discovered now. Yeah, it's just, well, fuck, man, like, Jesus.
And he's always talking about like, how he was experimented on in like the earlier movies, but now you actually get to see it too. Yeah. So like, it was definitely heartbreaking for sure. Like, I mean, we're not getting into like deep spoilers or anything yet, but like the scenes with him and like those other animals in the cages, every time it cut to one of those scenes, oh my god, it was just like it was like really wholesome but also really just sad.
It's got such a dark and unsettling vibe to it. You feel like in those moments there's such a nice like sincerity to the way the characters are interacting and everything, but like in the back of your mind you're like, something horrible is about to happen and I can feel it.
Exactly. Like it is like both dark but also like sweet at the same time somehow, even though, because like some of they're like these twisted creations, but they're so like sweet at the same time, so it makes you feel kind of weird about it or just like watching it, but it was done super, super well. I don't know who my favorite Guardian I guess would have been. I mean, it's still not like Rocket is definitely up there, but probably just Star-Lord from the start, just him from the start was probably always my favorite. But
I just love them all for what they are, though. They're so good.
I know, yeah. That's
like
true.
Drax is so fucking good. Drax is amazing. Gamora's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And by
Not
the way, Nebula
in
in this movie. Nebula was great in this movie.
Yeah, she was. I never would have thought that like I would end up liking Nebula more than like Gamora, or like more this much, you know, from the first time I ever saw her. Yeah. Then I probably hated her, but now it's like she's become a likable character, so that's always nice.
It's really interesting seeing her arc.
Yeah, they all have like a interesting arc. Even like Drax and Groot, like all of them pretty much do. James Gunn is really good at that.
I really like that whole sequence on that really weird like planet thing, like at the start.
Oh.
That like whole lab planet thing is really creepy, but like
the
hilarious.
One that they flew down in like those colored astronaut suit things. Oh, okay, yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, Among Us.
Yeah, everyone was saying that. Among Us. There's some weird ass creatures and aliens on that planet, and people are so weird. But it was
Nathan Fillion was so funny. How he's talking about that guy that he fucking hates.
That guy, right? And he's just right there. The humor was like spot on for me. This one, yeah. I think that I found this funnier than probably like Guardians 2 for sure.
I think it was easily the funniest. I could not stop laughing. God, the writing was so good.
It was so good. It's a toss up between the first and the third for like which was the funniest for me. But like some of it just kept going. And like for me, one of the funniest moments was I thought there was a lot of funny moments when they landed on that, what was it called, that duplicate Earth, Counter Earth or something.
Counter Earth,
yeah, when they got in the house and were trying to interact with that family. It was so fucking funny.
Drax would not stop laying down.
Yeah, he wouldn't stop laying down. And then how Mantis was just like making all these goofy faces, and then
Mantis
Nebula was
so
just
funny.
getting pissed at her. It was, and then but my favorite part was when Nebula was trying to open the car door.
Oh yeah.
She just kept pushing, and she's like, "What do I do now?" And just open the fucking door.
Big moment for Marvel.
Yeah, that was a really big moment. Was that the first F-bomb in a Marvel movie?
It was.
Or MCU? Wow.
They were apparently supposed to have one in Endgame, I believe, but they cut it out.
I thought it was perfect. perfect placement.
It was executed really well, yeah.
And it caught me off guard, but I thought it was hilarious. I'm glad that Marvel's they're not completely sugarcoating everything. Well, I mean, they'll probably go back to doing that since this was just James Gunn, you know, but
I mean, we'll see. Like, I mean, the huge reception that this is having might be an incentive to get a bit more risky with things.
That'd be nice, since all the fans at this point are, you know, we're getting older, we're growing up. Like, we're not as young as we were when we first started watching Marvel. So, like, it's fine.
But I guess Marvel is a thing that's, like, going to be ongoing for such a long time, and younger people will always pick it up. But it's like, don't make it just for them. Make it for everyone.
Yeah, you have to balance it. Yeah, make it a balance. Yeah.
There was one part as well that I found really fucking funny when they went to that like laboratory planet thing, whatever you want to call it, and they're like trying to like pretend to blend in and shit like that. Drax is just like, "Oh, are we blending in?" And then he just goes, "Mantis, you asshole!" Out of nowhere. When they're on the outside of it as well, and they're like doing the whole like thing on like the
I was just about to say that. Blue is for red, green is for yellow. Blue, it's like,
and then Mantis like tests it out, and she's like, "Hello," and just like blasts fucking Quill's ears off. So funny.
It was hilarious.
My god, they're just so funny.
Guardians have been the funniest Marvel movies for sure, and they've had the most likable characters like in one movie. I would say that too. Yeah, they really are the most consistent thing, or the most consistent franchise within a franchise, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, all their movies have been pretty much spot on. So even though I don't love the second one, I would like to rewatch it.
The second one's my second favorite. I think the third is my favorite.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, for me, it probably goes one's my favorite, then 3, then 2. I'm just always a sucker for like the start, you know, like I love seeing the team get formed and just like a good setup. So like, I mean, but they're all like great in their own way.
They're at least really consistent.
Like they're really consistent. Yeah.
Even though it was a different version, I did like Gamora, how she like grew in this movie as she went on.
It is kind of like a complicated thing too, because like, you know, who's in the right and who's in the wrong. Like, you know, should we be mad at Gamora even though she never experienced this stuff with
No,
Peter,
you can't be mad at her, I don't think. I don't think I could be mad at her. It's just like, it's upsetting for Quill.
It is upsetting. And it's just, it's weird because like, it's the same person to him, but like, you know, this is basically an entirely different person. But no, she like, definitely grew throughout the whole movie, as they all did. She's always kind of been like one of my lesser favorite Guardians, just because she is so kind of stern and like not as lighthearted, but like that's fine. They're all great in their own way, like we said. What'd you think of the villain and Adam Warlock and all that?
Oh man, this villain, this fucking villain, man,
Dude,
shit.
isn't he somehow better than... This is like what I wanted Kang in Ant-Man 3 to be. Like, this is... I'm comparing him to him, but they're kind of similar in some ways, but...
Yeah, they're both wanting to be gods, basically.
Yeah. This villain, like, at first I was like, okay, it's random, generic-looking ass villain, but then by the end of it, I'm like, he was really good.
I kept even, like, saying to my cousins, like, while we were watching, I think I hate this guy more than Thanos. Like... He's just so fucking purely evil, and it's like horrible to watch, but God, he played it well.
You know, he thinks what he's doing is like for the betterment of everybody, but Thanos, I could at least like understand what he was. Thanos was even more sympathetic, which says something.
He was.
But yeah, this guy though. Yeah, this guy was just like, you hate him. You really hate him, especially in some of those flashback scenes and what happens. But
I don't know how much of Peacemaker you've seen, but he is in that, and like I did like him quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
like in the episodes I've seen so far.
I totally forgot he was in that. Yeah, I've seen more than half of the first season.
But like he's really great in that and everything. But here it was just like, whoa, like shit. Just I don't know. He's just such a good actor. Like I'd love to see him more from here.
He really stole the show every time he was on screen, which I wasn't expecting. And then Adam Warlock, like I said, he was good too. I find that character interesting, even though, I mean, it's so weird what Marvel, like what they didn't do with them as opposed to like, because I mean, maybe you know this, but I thought this was what they were setting up at the end of Guardians 2 when they had that little end credit scene. Right, they were setting up his character, but that was way before, that was before like Infinity War and all that. So I thought that they were setting him up for Infinity War because in the Infinity Gauntlet comic, which is like one of the best Marvel comics out there, then which is basically the same story as Infinity War, but kind of different. Adam Warlock is actually the one that gathers like all the heroes together and forms a plan to stop Thanos. Like he's the guy. So like I thought they were setting that up for Infinity War. So it was kind of weird to see him come in like this late and kind of be like the first part of the villain. Like you think he's kind of the bad guy, and then he's not.
We might have to get into spoilers though.
Yeah, we might as well.
Spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
I was pleasantly surprised by like how they did his character in this movie, because like he starts off just like basically like generic villain, like I must destroy all this shit, blah blah blah, because he's basically been like created to do that. He's just someone that was like constructed to like rain hell on people, and that's it. Basically, like it doesn't feel like he has like a conscience or anything like that, or like knows what he's doing. And it's like, doesn't that make like the perfect like misfit character then? Like if they always fuck up all of this shit, and then what else do they where do they have to go from there? Like if they don't want to be just destroying shit for no reason, they're just going to be one of the kind of misfit characters that isn't what they were supposed to be, but can still be like good.
Yeah, they still have a purpose after it.
Yeah, so I liked how they did it like over time, and I don't consider it like his movie or anything like that, but like it was good how they did it, and I am looking forward to seeing him more in the future.
And he still has like, even though he may not have a conscience, he definitely has like a personality to where like he's kind of just I don't know, if he's probably been like a spoiled kid his whole life who was like trained to follow his mom's every whim and like do all this stuff. But then he I found his character, and even he had an arc. Like everybody had an arc in the movie, so that was pretty cool.
That's why I like him more. But I don't like a lot of people just shitting on him for no reason, because I've heard a lot of people just be like, oh, this movie was great but Adam Warlock was bad.
Like the character, or I know people like to make fun of the actor just because he's the eyebrows guy, but
he's a great actor though.
He is a great actor, yeah.
But like, no, they're just shitting on like the character, I guess.
I thought the character was cool.
I guess I can understand why. Still, it's like this isn't his movie. I don't feel like he's like this is the end for him or anything like that. He's got further to go.
Yeah, he definitely. This is like the start. I think he's gonna be very involved in like this phase,
and he's powerful too.
He is really fucking powerful. He's basically like Superman at this point, like of the Marvel you know? And by the end of it, is he kind of the Guardians themselves? Like, I'm just wondering, like, who's the team at this point?
This is sort of not the end, but it's like the end for now. Like, that's kind of what like, they wanted it to be.
Yeah, I saw it as like it's the end of like this team of Guardians, but then they're gonna have an updated team, you know, and like the ones that left are gonna do their own thing.
I don't know what they're gonna do from here.
I don't know either, but I definitely don't think it's like the last that we'll see of them or anything.
But I mean, that team at the end, like they look like a team, but I don't know if it's like something I would slap the Guardian's name on or anything.
I don't know, but like maybe that's why they were trying to build Rocket up so much this movie, or like make you like him even more, because like by the end of it, he looks like the leader of that new team. So like maybe they built him up strong enough to be, you know, to lead like a new Guardians movie down the road, you know, like that could happen.
I don't know what's gonna happen with like Star-Lord from here. Like what's that gonna be?
I don't exactly. I don't know, but it's kind of weird how they phrased it at the end. They didn't say the Guardians will return. They said Star-Lord will return. So
yeah, and if he's not like a member of the Guardians anymore, like what is this gonna be that he returns in?
Yeah, unless it's like a solo movie, or if he just like...
I wouldn't really want that.
You wouldn't?
I just like his interaction with everyone else. Like, I think he works better with a crowd there.
Yeah, that was really interesting, I guess, when it just said that. I don't know what their plan is, but hey, if James Gunn is eventually the guy to do it again, then I trust him.
I don't know why people would ever shit on James Gunn at this point. Like, I don't get it. I think people just want to shit on popular things. Maybe that's a lot of it, but like, it's just how? Like, he's done so much good for like DC and Marvel, and he's going to continue doing even more.
Yeah, I think they're just shitting on him because he's become so popular and people love him, you know?
He fucking
like,
knows
that's
what
the
he's
only
doing.
Thing. Yeah, he really does. It's better than anything that DC has done, what he's done. And then also some of the Marvel stuff he's done is some of the best. So you just can't deny that. And even before Marvel and DC, like his, you know, I loved him back since when he wrote the screenplay for Dawn of the Dead. Like that movie that has James Gunn written all over it when you like just hear the characters talk.
I really want to see Super because Keelan has said that that's one of his like favorite movies ever. Yeah, I've been wanting to see it, but I'm not sure about Slither. I know you've seen that and you didn't like it.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Slither. I thought that was just too weird for me.
But it's a debut, right? So
was it?
It's never going to be
I guess
perfect.
I wasn't sure if it was his debut. I really want to see Super too.
Yeah, apparently it's just like Kick-Ass, but like way harder.
Even more realistic and shit. Wow.
I mean, I do want to go a bit more in depth into Rocket. I cried like a bunch of times, honestly. Maybe that's cringe, I don't know, but like...
No, I think a lot of people did. I'm sure a lot of people did.
The one scene that got me probably the most was like when all of them die, all of his friends.
Oh, yeah.
In the cages. But like it's just really him sad. Like screaming like for ages, and then like the guy like mocking his scream after that, and then he just scratches the shit out of him, and it's like, oh my god, this is too much. Like fuck, this is so sad.
God, it was done so well. I got sad throughout the movie as well. Like that was probably one of the parts.
I mean, you can see why Rocket is fucked up. Like Jesus,
you can. Yeah, I didn't think the movie would make like me emotional or anybody emotional over a freaking bunny rabbit with like fucking robot legs or something like that, you know, like just these weird things that, you know, they make you so attached to over like an hour. So I mean, it's just very, very effective the way he did that. The only other part the part that I got sad about, I guess it wasn't really a Rocket scene, but the scene to where like I straight up thought Star-Lord was like dead, like he's done for when he went out in space. Oh my god.
Yeah, I actually did think he was gonna die. Like I was thinking, you know, there's no way they'll do this, but then I was like, James Gunn is just that mad to actually do it.
To do it.
But like, I mean, it ended in one of the sexiest ways possible. Like Adam Warlock just comes in shirtless and takes him under his wing. Like fuck yeah! I was like, let's go. This is great. That's a man's man right there.
It was
so cool.
It was really good. Yeah.
But right before that as well was another one that I like really teared up at. It was like when Rocket goes into that room like that he used to be in, and he sees like all of these creatures that were just like, you know, taken from Earth and all that shit. You know, just like the little raccoons like coming up to his nose and shit, and like I looked in his eyes and I'm like, he knows he can't save all of them, and that's why he's getting emotional. Like, I want him to be able to save all of them. He was like, I can't carry all of them all on my own or whatever. I was like, fuck, don't do this to me, man. Fuck. Then that piece of shit shows up in the room, and I was like, just fuck off, I hate you.
Just die. God, he's such a good job at making a hateable character. Like, that's the sign of a good villain and a good actor. Yes. Like, if I can hate you that much. Like, he wasn't like a boring villain at all. He was interesting, but he just hated him by the end of it. Yeah.
And it's interesting too, because they take like a few, I guess, villain like cliches in there as well. Like, he's right when you first meet him, he's like just sitting around like listening to like classical type music or whatever, and just like talking about how like things could be better, and like humanity isn't good enough and all that shit. And it's like, this is like such a trope, but like as it goes on, you're like, you know, you start to understand like what he's all about, and you're like, yeah, this is a lot more in depth than just like an image, you know.
Yeah, for me, he's probably the most interesting villain since, I don't know if I can count like No Way Home, but like you know, for like as far as past villains go, like just because I love their villains, but like since maybe Thanos, you know, like the most interesting, I guess, for me. But,
I mean, this is straight up my favorite Marvel movie since Endgame, easily.
It is, me too. I would definitely, even more than No Way Home, which I like No Way Home a lot too, but yeah, this is my favorite since Endgame.
I mean, No Way Home has like a lot of noticeable flaws for me that I do overlook. Because I just kind of love the whole fun vibe of it and all that shit. But like this one, I can't really say that about. Like, it's just, I actually like everything about it.
I mean, to me, like, as much as I had fun with No Way Home, it kind of just feels like a compilation of like fun scenes, where this felt like an actual movie to me. Like, this feels like it has characters with that have arcs, and that, like, you know, there's like emotional scenes and backstories, and like, not that No Way Home didn't have that, but it just felt more of a cohesive thing to me.
Yeah, I just love when a script has like such a great balance of comedy and drama like this does.
It really had a balance of everything. Yeah,
and it looks so
very good at that. It does. Yeah,
I'm sure you've probably seen, but did you know like that, like Chris Pratt's like body at the start that Nebula was carrying?
Yeah,
was a prop?
I saw the clip. I'm sure you saw the clip too. Yeah, that was
crazy.
That's insane. It looks so real too. If you saw that behind the scenes clip.
Yeah. They were like getting all close up to it, and I'm like, that's freaky. Like,
and it only weighed like 35 pounds apparently. Like, that's just crazy how they do that. I don't know how they managed to do that. Wouldn't it just be so weird to see a life-size body of yourself right in front of you?
That would freak me the fuck out.
That would freak me out too.
Chris Pratt is getting a fat payday this year with Mario and this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Mario and this, he is, who knows? I mean, there's got to be something else he's probably in this year too. He's blowing up for sure.
I mean, he was great in this movie, like straight up. He was
genuinely good. Yeah, he was getting a ton of hate because of Mario, and then everyone was making fun of him for, like, you know, and voicing whoever, you know, or saying that he's gonna voice every animated character, but no,
when he's like, good, he's good.
Actually good. When he's good, he's good. But he's just almost become like a meme status at this point, which is weird. It seems like, I mean, he's a super nice guy. I see like clips of him, and I know he's a super nice guy. So like, as long as it's all in good fun, you know. But overall, yeah, this movie just easily best since Endgame, like you said.
Well, as a little final thing to it, if you're done with thoughts and stuff, how would you rank the Guardians in this movie?
Oh, like rank the characters?
Like all the characters.
Well, Rocket easily stole like this movie. This movie, if I'm talking just this movie, Rocket, and then probably Star-Lord for me, just because I like him a lot, and then Nebula, she's at least top 3, then Drax, I just love Drax, and then I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, then like Mantis, and then Groot's just kind of there, you know. Like, I mean, he always...
What do you even call this version of Groot, by the way? Because there's like regular Groot, baby Groot, teenage Groot. What is this?
This is like, I don't know, he's just kind of like chonky Groot, you know. You look at him, he just looks Chonk Groot.
Name of the episode.
Chonk Groot.
That's terrible.
But no, he's just so like, he's a thick boy in this one. And then by the end of it, he's just like, he's reached his final form, it looks like.
Oh yeah, he's like fucking mega.
He's fucking
Groot.
huge. He's
Jesus.
huge. It's like, why didn't he get that big before? Like, how much time has passed? But
I don't know.
You
You never really see
then,
like how he transforms. You sort of just like it happens. Like
it just happens like over time. Like that's just but then last for me is Gamora probably in this movie. She has an arc, but I just was never a huge fan of Gamora. She's badass sometimes, but I liked her more in the earlier Guardians movie.
I do really like her as a character, and I did like her here. But yeah, she's probably my least favorite too. But I love them all, so whatever.
Yeah, they're all great. But what about you?
Yeah, from worst to best, probably Gamora, Drax. Hate to say it, Mantis.
Yeah.
I fucking loved Mantis though. Star-Lord, Nebula, Rocket.
You didn't include Groot in there.
Oh yeah, Groot can be bottom, I guess.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
forgot.
it's a toss between Gamora and Groot. Like,
I always just forget about
Groot
Groot sometimes because it's like he has one line, he doesn't do much else.
I know. Well, in this one, we finally actually hear him say something. Remember that scene where he's like, "I love you guys." I don't think he actually said that. I think that was just what everybody heard. Like, we were hearing it through their ears.
I think that's what he said because
oh really?
People forget this a lot, but he did actually say something else in the first one.
Oh yeah, he did. At the
he
end
said,
of that.
"We are Groot."
We are Groot. Which was
one of the most powerful moments in MCU.
That
history.
Was
like fuck.
It really was.
He just wipes a tear from Rocket's eye and protects them all from a explosion. It's like we are Groot.
To me, it's like the moments like that it solidifies the first movie for me as my favorite. I don't know. I mean, I feel like, don't you think that they would have all made a bigger deal about it if he actually said that? The way I interpreted it was like, we're hearing like what they were all hearing.
I don't know.
I don't know, I guess. I mean, they don't elaborate on it, but I
maybe
thought
they'd be more shocked, or maybe they're just like living in the moment and they just don't really care as much.
I guess that was a big moment for him. That was his arc. He said something else. That's all you can do with Groot. Groot's cool and all, but he's so simple of a character, you know.
He is very simple. I also like that dog. That dog was cute.
Yeah, Cosmo, I think Cosmo was his name.
Yeah, he says full on telekinesis. It's awesome.
It's so just crazy. Cosmo, and then I can't think of his name, but it's James Gunn's brother. You know,
Sean
Gunn takes over Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of his character's name though. You know, he takes over Yondu's like position pretty much. Like, he was good. They were both really good. The last thing I could think of is the hallway fight scene. That had to have been one of the best choreographed moments in the MCU in a long, long time.
It was so cool.
The camera was just flying through all of it, and it was just perfect.
He had a lot of wide angles in this movie. A lot of fucking wide angles.
A lot of wide angles and a lot of characters like walking along with some song in the background. Like, it was just a lot of
that's just what he does.
Showmanship stuff, yeah. But no, that hallway scene was like, why is it that in every action movie ever, if there's ever a hallway, it's always the best fight scene of the movie? Like, have you ever noticed that? Old Boy, Guardians of the Galaxy 3,
Daredevil.
Just like Daredevil. It's always, when you're in a hallway, you know some shit's about to go down. Like, it's just perfect. But yeah, that had to have been my favorite part of the movie.
Last thing I'll say as well is that I did like, we're talking about Gamora a lot. I did like that her whole thing at the end was like, you know, even though they did have like a, you know, noticeable connection after all they've been through in this movie, like she feels more attached to them and everything. Like, she still went back to the Ravagers, and it really does feel like she feels at home there, which I thought was nice. Yeah. Like, it's just like, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, that's
I'm fine
true.
with that. Let them go their separate ways and move on with their lives. That's cool.
Right. Yeah.
It's sad, but it's good.
It's sad seeing the Guardians like split up, but I mean, you know, you got to go your separate ways at some point. She's back at home with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
The Ravagers.
Yeah. And I just loved how connected she felt to them at the end. I was like, yeah, that's good. That's cool.
Yeah, they all feel at home, I think. You know, and Star-Lord literally at home. Yeah, that was sweet. Great movie. Definitely top 5 of the year for me so far, easily. I'm sure that's probably the same for you.
I mean, it might be top 5 MCU for me right now. Like, it might just be recency bias, but like, I keep thinking about it more, and I'm just like, whoa. Yeah. It's great.
I've seen a lot of people put it pretty high in their rankings. Yeah, it is really, really good. There's just so much to rank now. There's like, what, 30 MCU movies probably at this point? Like,
maybe even more. What is the next thing, by the way?
Next thing would be, I don't know if it's the Marvels. I don't know if it's...
Oh, yeah,
it
it
might
probably
be the
is,
Marvels. I haven't even seen Miss Marvel yet.
I'll have to watch Miss Marvel, but it's like, is it Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and the alternate version of Captain Marvel? Because there's 3 of them, and one of them's that woman from that she was like friends with Captain Marvel in the Captain Marvel movie, and we saw like a variant of her where she was Captain Marvel in Multiverse of Madness.
Oh.
Yeah, is it her?
Yeah, that maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'll stay hopeful for now.
Yeah, I really hope it's good. But like I said,
I mean,
I'm not gonna like hold my breath for like every Marvel movie or anything.
No.
It's not been like great lately.
Yeah, it really hasn't been, but like I think we'll continue to get some good ones here and there like this, you know. It's not gonna be, I just don't know if it'll be as consistent as it used to be.
I made some like weird prediction while I was in the theater as well. Like I said it to my cousins who were beside me. I was like, I'm certain that I'm right about this, but I wasn't. When the villain was like talking quite a lot about being a god or whatever, I was like, under that mask has got to be like Kang, surely. Like, because I was like, he's talking about being a god. Maybe this is like some sort of version of him or whatever, where he's just disguising himself and like trying to create different Earths. But I was wrong.
That would have been smart actually, just because I mean, if he is the centered villain of this phase or these few phases, you know, he's gonna have to interact with the Guardians at some point. So that would have been smart actually. But I kind of like how this is also this you know, just this separate guy
I appreciated
that's doing
that
these
more.
things. But yeah, this is like, it's so weird how he managed to be a better villain than Kang in Ant-Man 3.
Yeah,
It's
way
like,
better.
Like everything was way better than this was really refreshing after coming off of Ant-Man 3. Like we needed a good Marvel movie.
Yes. That's something we didn't talk about yet. Jonathan Majors.
Oh
what about that whole situation?
I guess a little mini topic. Yeah.
I just know that he got domestic abuse allegations. I don't think he's been charged for them yet or anything. And from what I hear, like the whole situation is pretty sketchy, and apparently she's not much better. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I don't know any of the details. I just know he was convicted or not convicted, but accused of like
he spent a couple of nights in prison, I think, but like I don't know, I don't want to say anything until like any evidence comes out, but it doesn't look like it is. It looks like it's just a really messy case.
But you just know that like Kevin Feige and all of them are just scrambling. They're probably panicking, like, this is our fucking guy, this is our big villain. What are we supposed to do?
I do want to see him in more though. Like I want to see him like keep being good as the character, because I did like him initially as the character quite a lot. I don't really want them to do a recasting, but they might.
Oh man, I heard that I thought I saw like rumors of possible recastings. I don't know if this is true, but
if they're gonna let like in DC Ezra Miller keep going, surely they can let Jonathan Majors keep going.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't really care either way. It's like, this is shit in their personal lives, and I'm just there to watch the movie. I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
If they did some really heinous shit and it's like actually proven and horrible and all that, then like fine. But like it's still a thing where I'm just gonna watch the movie and watch it for the character.
Yeah, there's been more proof of Ezra Miller doing bad shit than there has him so far. So I mean,
and I in no way approve. I in no way approve of Ezra Miller, like what he's done at all. Yeah. But like, hopefully he can just get better from here.
I hope. I mean, he seems. I don't know. He just seems like a psychotic person to me, and they're still just letting him star in movies. So I hope he gets better. But
actually, we can't call him he. He's a they.
Is he really now?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I mean, are they really now? I mean,
I hate all those people as well. Like where you're talking about like all of like the crimes and stuff and all that. And it's just like, actually, it's they. Like, get it right.
I'm sorry.
Who gives a fuck right now? Yeah. We're not talking about this shit. Jesus.
Yeah, there are bigger fish to fry.
Seriously.
Than that. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with them. Well, moving on to quite a heavier, crazier, weirder movie. I really wanted to rewatch this before we talked about it, but I knew I'd only be able to get the one watch in. Beau Is Afraid.
Beau Is Afraid.
Yeah. This is a movie that it has to be rewatched. Like, it just has to be.
Oh, yeah.
It's 3 hours long, for one, and it's just, as with all of Ari Aster stuff, it's so weird. It was, I'm sure, both of our anticipated movies for this year, I'm sure.
Yeah, whenever we talked about anticipated ones earlier on, it was The Whale and Disappointment Boulevard, which has now been renamed to Beau Is Afraid.
I don't know which title I would have rather kept.
After having seen the movie, I like this one more.
It makes more sense. I didn't know that apparently Ari Aster also had a short film back in like 2011 called Beau.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. But I haven't seen it in like a couple of years, so I totally forgot what it even was.
I don't think it follows it like super closely or anything, does it? Like, I mean, it was a short film and this is 3 hours, so.
Right, but I didn't even know if these were connected at all. I mean, maybe they were. This was one of the movies that me and Kath watched at one of the theaters in Arizona, and it was just perfect theater experience. Like the theater, we weren't the only ones in there, but there was like maybe 3 other groups of couples in the theater as well. A weird choice for a date movie for a lot of people, I guess.
The complete opposite. I went alone and the theater was actually kind of full, but like it wasn't like a huge theater room or anything, but it was like full, and there were a lot of like friend groups and stuff and couples, and I was just on my own in the corner.
Hey, there's something fun about watching an Ari Aster movie by yourself, though, or like something.
Yeah, I like seeing movies alone.
Right, me too. I do too, and I know I would have enjoyed this if I was alone. I totally would have, but like seeing it with Kath also made it great because this movie is like hilarious, I thought, and we were laughing a lot. This is the first time in probably years that I've ever laughed out loud in a theater, like multiple times. Like I was like laughing out loud. I wouldn't want to do that because like I don't want to be that annoying laughing guy in the theater, but everybody else in the theater was laughing too.
Yeah,
like the lady, and so that was just really refreshing.
A lot of people were laughing, but I did have like 2 or 3 walkouts. 2
or 3 separate like people.
Yeah, separate ones. Yeah,
I wasn't surprised when I read that when you talked about that, but there was actually also about 40 minutes in, there was a guy and a lady, like this older couple that also walked out of our theater. We only had one walkout of this old couple, and which is like, of course, like what do you expect? I mean, what were they expecting? I don't know.
A lot of people might just go into like a movie like this, they'll be like, oh, I like Joaquin Phoenix, and this is something new.
Exactly, they don't know the director and they don't know what he's like trying to do or like his style, so like they're gonna be totally thrown off guard.
Even then, if you know the director, this is so different compared to Hereditary and Midsommar.
It is. Hereditary and Midsommar seems so like mainstream or popular compared to this. Like I can't imagine this movie being loved by like, you know, groups of teens, like teenagers, you know, like they talk about Midsommar and stuff, you know, but like I can't imagine them like raving about Beau Is Afraid. Like it's a weird movie. Like you don't know who exactly the target audience is.
It's just like a lot in one movie.
It is.
I mean, it is one of those where it completely justifies the length, I think.
Absolutely.
It definitely needs to be that long, I think.
It totally does, yeah. And I hardly even felt the length. It was never like getting boring for me. I was fine with it going on for as long as it wanted to.
I think this was the same theater room as well that I saw Drive My Car in, and that was like 3 hours too. So I was just like, yeah, this is nice. I'm feeling the same kind of feeling. It's just flying by. I'm laughing. I'm having a good time. I'm terrified as well at some points.
I know. It was definitely his strangest and most like complex movie out of all 3 of them so far.
Like, Ari Aster, are you okay? Like, do you need a hug?
I don't think he is okay because like this was like his passion project. I feel like this was like himself put into the character. I feel like that's what this was. And like, hey, Beau could totally be a He's Literally Me character at times. Like, he could be.
I mean, because but
he's such an like anxiety-ridden person, and like I've felt like it's done to such extremes in this movie though, like it's so exaggerated to where like I don't know if this is actually happening or if this is just how he sees the world and we're seeing it through his eyes type of thing.
I do think it is that.
You think we're just like seeing it through his, like the world isn't actually this fucking crazy, we're just kind of seeing it through how he sees it, you think?
Yeah, I think so. And like it is just a movie where like it's an anxiety-ridden character, but it's also like the worst nightmare for an anxiety-ridden character because it's like literally everything that could go wrong is going wrong. It's fucking terrible. Like you just feel so bad like at some points, but also you can't stop laughing. It's weird.
It's done in such a comedic way, and we're gonna have to like when we get into spoilers, we'll talk about all those details. But like, yeah,
I
just
am
the perfect
so
mix
desperate to
of-
watch it again.
I really want to. I wish that we got it at our theater, but we of course didn't. I mean,
I think it's
we're
still
not
playing
gonna
over
get
here,
that
but
in the theater, but-
I'm very broke right now, so I probably can't.
all I know, yeah. I mean, all I know is that as soon as it comes on Blu-ray, like I'm pre-ordering that. Like this is one of those I
Yeah.
have to pre-order and just I have to get. I want to talk about each like the movie's almost like split up into like these different like chapters. It almost feels like
Yeah.
to where like I want to talk about each of those, but I feel like we have to get into spoilers.
I would say there's probably 4 different like sections, and they all just sort of
Yeah.
like get more terrifying and hilarious and over the top.
To me, it almost gets more and more confusing. Even though I was understanding everything happening, it gets more and more complex. That's for sure. Like by the end of it, you're like, what the hell even happened? You know, or like, where are we now? No,
It was
does get
definitely
kinda
confusing
crazy.
at times, but like I don't know, I guess I was just so wrapped up in it because it was so funny and engaging, and there were so many moments that visually just made me go, holy shit.
Oh, the visuals were crazy. It's just so unpredictable. Like, just such random shit happens. It's the movie was always like, it was always interesting. Something always was happening that was weird or like unexpected. Like it was a very unexpected movie. Like totally like not formulaic or predictable at all.
I think what got like the most laughs like initially was that guy on the ceiling. What the fuck
Yeah.
was that?
Oh my god, that got the most laughs out of our theater too. Kath was just dying.
I was
laughing.
fucking dying, like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It just
when
went
they're
on
rolling-
for so long, like the staring back and forth.
Could you imagine getting? Oh, we're gonna have to get into some spoilers though. I feel like, you know, before we get into spoilers, like, yeah, I would recommend this, even though it's not for everybody.
Absolutely not for everybody.
I guess it's kind of funny though, because like after we walked out of the theater, this has never happened to me before, but like there was this like girl that was standing there with like a couple like iPads, and she asked me and Kath, she was like, they wanted our reactions after the movie, and they had us like fill out a survey. Yeah, so they were like, she was like, do you want to fill out a survey of what you thought and like all this stuff? And I was like, sure. And so
That's
we
weird.
started filling it out. It was really weird, but like I don't know. So I don't know who she worked for, like one of the studios or
Letterboxd.
something. Yeah. No, we were filling it out, and it kept asking me like, would you recommend this movie? And like on a scale of 1 to 10, I kept saying 10, 10,
Yeah.
10. Like I just said like it was the best movie, like all this shit. I don't know. Even though it's not for everybody, like people are gonna hate this movie.
Yeah, it's the epitome of a love it or hate it, honestly.
Right. It totally is. Since I want to talk about each of the chapters, like for sure in depth.
Spoilers for Beau Is Afraid.
My favorite like segment of the movie was easily the first one, like him
Really?
at his apartment. That that got the most laughs out of me. Like I was laughing so much throughout that whole first segment, because
Yeah.
like I think from the moment that I knew this was going to be a hilarious movie was when the notes kept sliding under his door saying like, turn down the music.
I love that one that perfectly slides into focus,
Yeah,
like right on
perfectly
his bed.
slides. And then it's like, we ask you to turn it down, but you turn it up. and then he's just sitting there, and then the fucking like neighbors next to him are just pounding their music, and we were just laughing so much.
It's so weird. Like literally everything that can go wrong just goes wrong. Like it's the weirdest shit. Like, oh my
And
God.
I love how just the little things, how he plugged his ears, and then he tried to go to bed, and then he woke up and his fingers are still in his ears. like I was just, how is it that like an Ari Aster movie made me laugh more than any modern comedy within the past like 5 years probably? Like I've never laughed this much, and I didn't think an Ari Aster
got a
movie
lot of laughs out
would
of
do
me.
that.
And like the fact that he loses his suitcase because he forgot fucking dental floss or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, gotta get the dental floss, and he left the key in the fucking door.
Oh my God.
And
It's like you know, like right before that it happens, you're like, okay, this is gonna go
it
wrong.
zooms
Like,
in on it, and you're like, that shit's getting stolen.
but it's like never even like explained like where it went or anything. It just
Exactly.
sort of like goes, and then like that happens a lot throughout the movie. But it's like it is like a good way of exploring like anxiety though, in a kind of funny way.
Yeah. How every little thing could go wrong. You're worried about every little thing. Yet again, maybe this is just how he sees his neighborhood and not how it actually is. Who knows? But like, just just how shitty, like literally how sketchy this fucking like block is.
Yes.
Just all the weird different characters. I loved all the weird different, like the guy that was like doing these weird dances and just like those jean shorts outside, and then
the
like
stabbing guy,
the naked stabbing guy.
But it was like it was so strange, like, because like, I mean, I went into the movie like really blind. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't watch any trailers or anything. I tried to not see anything. It has like that, you know, first opening sequence and then the scene with the therapist and everything, and I was like, this is relatively normal. And then like he goes outside and I'm just like, what is going on? Like, what are these people doing? Holy shit. Exactly. And then from there it's just like pure fucking chaos, like, for
it's
the
just
whole movie.
Chaos. It's total up until to the point to where he gets hit by the truck.
Oh my god.
It's just pure
that
chaos.
entire part, fuck me.
Oh, when
like,
he
the
runs
entire
out
part
there,
of him like running around like naked, like getting hit by a car and shit.
But also like the little things to where like leading up to that, I love the part to where he was this when he tried to because he took the pills. And then he didn't have any water in his apartment. Not even the fucking water was turned off. And he was like, it said always take with water. And that's something that like I would be paranoid about too. So like I was like, yeah, I've been there when if I had to take medicine, like I didn't take water, I'm freaking out. Just how he props the door open and fucking just runs across, and as soon as he runs out, that guy runs alongside him. He's like, help me, help me, help me, help me.
Yeah. It's weird because you really just can like predict everything because you're seeing like the pattern, like everything's going wrong or whatever, but like you don't care because like it's just so fascinating seeing how bad things can go. He goes out the door, he like leaves it basically unlocked, people start going in, he doesn't have enough money to pay for the water.
Yeah,
like everything is just like, oh my god.
When literally everybody on the block started going to the apartment building, I was fucking dying laughing.
Me too. It's just like, why though?
why? And they all go to his apartment and just like throw the biggest fucking, they just make a mess of it.
Yeah, it's like a big apartment complex, but specifically they go to his room.
His apartment. And there's just like people, like there's a dead guy outside his door, and like there's that shoe in his computer, and he's trying to get on the computer, and there's just like a shoe or something stuck in it. Remember that? Oh, it was just so hilarious. Oh, I hope he does another comedy because I haven't laughed this hard in so long.
Yeah, seriously, it was so funny.
I guess you have to talk about that phone call that he gets because he misses the flight to go see his mom.
From Bill Hader.
Was that actually Bill Hader on the phone? Or oh, okay. Because I didn't recognize the voice on the phone, but then on the news clip, I knew that was him.
Yeah, like I saw his back turn and I was like, that's fucking Bill Hader. What the hell?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. I love the part where he's like, well, maybe you just misdialed. Maybe this is, you know, and then he calls back and then he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yes. Oh my god. That was just the most perfect comedic timing ever. The theater like erupted. Oh my god.
Yeah. But then it goes to like I said, it goes from such funny moments to like all of a sudden it is dark and like sad, because like the part where he just stands there and he's standing there forever, you know, and like because like what would you do if you just got the phone call that like that happened to your mom? Like he's just like frozen.
Yeah, it is very sad at points.
Like that part alone reminded me kind of like in Hereditary, after the
spoilers for Hereditary.
After the little girl gets her, you know, like head decapitated, and the kid just doesn't know what to do, and he just like lays in bed and doesn't even sleep and is just frozen. It reminded me of that.
Yeah, it's very similar.
What else about that first chapter though? Just, and then the guy on the ceiling above him in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's,
and then how they're so wrestling around in the bathtub, and it feels like it goes on forever, but like we all couldn't stop laughing, so like it could have just gone on forever. And how I like how he comes out of the apartment just naked, and he's running in the street, and then he has that like little statue in his hand, and he looks like the naked stabbing guy. So then the cops think it's him. Yeah, that first chapter is just pure chaos, pure like hilarious chaos.
I wasn't like sure where it could go from there, but then it like really shocked me how crazy it could have gone. after that.
Which it was kind of weird though, because like right after that first segment, like after it was showing him getting stabbed, you know, by the naked guy, and that's how he got like
that was hard to watch.
That was hard to watch, and I'm wondering if that's what like turned away because like it was right after that happened that those two people in my theater walked out. So I don't know if that's what got to them.
I think that was one of the three, like after that point. Yeah, like how are you not laughing and shit by that point, like just into the chaos?
Exactly.
Like, come on,
how are you not in? Yeah, no, the next one, I guess he's just kind of at those people's house that entire time.
But it is interesting. It's like this really odd dynamic with like those characters.
Yeah, all the characters are so weird, like how
they all interact so weirdly.
Just like it's so weird how the parents would give him his daughter's room or their daughter's room and then make her sleep on the couch, even though they have an open room that was their dead son's room. They have like a shrine to him, and they're just like, it's so weird. It's kind of sweet at first, or you think, oh, they're sad for, you know, they're losing their son, but it's like almost a weird shrine. And just like the daughter was so chaotic, just such a crazy person too.
Yeah, she was fucking nuts.
Just like forcing him to do drugs and like just
that sequence was really weird.
Right in the car.
Yeah, because like
yeah,
I sort of felt like at the start like it might be she's actually just gonna take him to the destination or whatever, but like she basically just took him around the block just to fuck with him.
Yeah, just to fuck with him, and just
and
like
then he has
made
that
him
whole
smoke.
like memory flashback shit of his like his past with his mother and all that, and like it's just such a weird sequence. Like that entire sequence is so weird. And then when he like when he wakes up as well, goes to the like TV and he can like fast forward shit. Like, what do you think that meant? Because that part is stumping me.
That part's so weird, and it's you see like things that are going to happen, and the movie gets so like surreal, like it gets so surreal and like just like fantastical almost, like it's like a fantasy movie almost. I don't know, I mean, I have no idea. That's why I want to rewatch it, because I don't know like what the point of that was, but it was really, I've never seen that in like a movie before, you know. It was really interesting.
I feel like I've started to understand like a lot of things about the movie, like the more I've thought about it and looked into stuff and all that, but like that part still is what like stumps me. Like I don't know what that is all about.
There are probably several parts that stumped me, even though I understood the movie, but like a lot of little things I'm like, what does that mean? Why did he do that? But
regardless though, like, and I've always said this about like so many different movies, but like my favorite kind of movies are the ones that make you just want to think and want to look into it more. There's so much about Beau Is Afraid that you could take away, and it's like, I want to know like everything about this movie. Like it's just that good.
There's so many like little details and ambiguous stuff that you don't understand, but like you want to. But it's super unique. Some of this stuff. The guy living out in their backyard, that was pretty funny. Like,
he was fucking weird.
He was really weird.
Love how he just randomly stares in the window sometimes, like for no reason.
Yeah, and he lives out in that little like not RV thing, but like I don't even know what it is, but just right out back.
What I'm also wondering though is like what his whole like dynamic is with the daughter though, because like it seems like she goes to him sometimes for like help or whatever, and I
wonder
don't know
if
why.
She gets. I didn't know if she was getting her pills from him, or like if he was she was giving him pills or something. Yeah, just really weird dynamic overall. It's like the only normal one was maybe like the mom. But then actually no, by the end of it, she tries to kill him with a samurai sword. So.
Up until that point.
That was
maybe
crazy...
the dad then? The dad was like goofy, but like he was
the dad was really
enough.
Goofy.
I just love how he randomly comes in with like these like random one-liners or whatever, or like dad jokes and shit like that. It's just like, this guy is such a fucking dad.
He is. He's got the mustache and like just the way he talks, and it's just the movie's just full of crazy characters. The scene in the bedroom though with the paint, oh my god,
fuck.
So what the fuck?
I mean, I don't know what you would even do in that situation, right?
I don't know what you do,
but at the same time, like I mean if I was in this situation, like I would probably try to stop her from drinking paint, but Beau is so afraid of doing anything that he just like lets it happen, and then he gets blamed for it, and it's like I guess that's what happens. He
walks in literally like hanging on to her, and just like he's like caught red-handed basically. I mean, it looks like he did it, and then he's on the run again.
Yeah,
through
it's
the
just
woods.
like by doing nothing, he does so much, I guess.
He always finds him. Yeah, he always finds himself in these situations that get him in trouble, even though he's not really done anything wrong. But he always looks like he's done something wrong. Yeah, don't. And then they have that crazy ass military guy that was living in the backyard, chasing him throughout the woods.
Yeah,
that was just that was intense too.
and then he comes across Haley Squires. That actress that he comes, not actress, well, the character that he comes across, like the actress. I've only ever seen her in I, Daniel Blake. It's like this movie from 2016, and it's a really fucking good movie. She's amazing in it, but like I was shocked to see her in this. I was like, oh, hey, what's up? Yeah.
I didn't recognize her, but
you should watch that movie. It's great.
I should. It just like it does really kind of get weirder and weirder, like these segments, because like the stuff out in the forest, like this theater thing going out
in some ways I feel
woods.
Like it's one of my favorite parts. Like I don't know, it's at least in the top 3 favorite parts, I would say.
I don't know, I guess I haven't thought about like ranking the parts for me.
No, me neither, but like I just it's a highlight is what I mean. Like it's
it was very good, but I think I remember Kath saying that like that was the only part of the movie for Kath that kind of dragged on a bit, I guess. I think only the part to where it was like his life was being narrated. I thought that it was really cool.
I thought it was like incredible how it came like full circle like that. It was really strange.
It was so bizarre. Like I'm trying to wrap my head around it still. Like
I can't get over the voice though. Like whoever was doing the narration, like her voice is terrifying.
It is. And then the masks and shit and the costumes they have on. It's just very like the whole thing is a surreal like nightmare. I loved how it was going through like that style of
the animation.
The animation and stuff was so cool. Just the stuff she was saying, like
it felt like this just like odd sort of depiction of like what his life could have been like if he was living without this burden of anxiety over his head or whatever.
Exactly.
But it's also like, is it that? Because there's so much to unpack with this whole sequence.
To me, that's kind of what it seems like, I guess, you know, like if he was a normal person or lived a normal life, then this is what maybe he would want, I guess.
But then again, like if that's the case, like why does it go wrong in the middle? Why does he
like
lose all of his family and shit? And that's what I'm wondering.
And then how he grows old, but then you're right, like how it just the way it comes full circle. Like how he gets old and then he stumbles across this place and then they literally start narrating in real time what he's doing, and it's like mind blowing, and I'm just like, what the fuck? But I've just never seen stuff like this in a movie before, so like
I need to watch this movie again.
I know, I really want to watch it again. And just little moments in this like segment to where like I still found it, even though it gets more and more serious, I would say, like little stuff like the guy and like you're watching a full grown man in like a ladybug costume come up and like give him stuff, and it was just funny, like just their crazy.
I love how like when
shit.
when the forest like gets raided by that like army guy and the ladybug guy just grabs a gun out of the speaker. Just so casually.
So who was that guy? I'm trying to remember. Who was the guy that got like blown up by that grenade? Was that his dad?
I have a prediction about that, but I mean, maybe we should wait till later. I'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I'll remember. But yeah, I mean, no, I actually really liked this segment too. Probably better than the one when he was at the house. Yeah, I liked the one in the woods too.
I think the one at the house was my least favorite if I had to pick, but I still liked it a lot.
Probably me too, yeah. I'm trying to remember, after the woods, does he go straight to his mom's house?
Yeah, pretty much. I think they skip time a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, and then he gets to his mom's house finally. I thought it was funny how like the guy that he was getting the phone calls at the house before the woods, and the guy was like so frustrated because he's like, to your mom's request, we can't have the funeral without you present and all this stuff. It's just, but then they end up doing it anyway.
The guy on the phone, like lawyer or whatever, Richard Kind, like I love that guy. I want to see him in more. He's so good.
I'd have to look him up.
I mean, he's the guy like I don't want to get too far into the end, but like he's the guy at the end, like the lawyer, like right at the end.
Oh yeah. Him. Beau's lawyer or
the mom's lawyer.
The mom's lawyer. Okay.
Yeah, I love that guy. He's such a good actor.
Oh, I do recognize him now. I do remember him now. This, I guess, to me, the segment at the house really doesn't get as memorable until like the old love interest shows up at the house, which we haven't even talked about those flashback scenes either, by the way. But yeah,
there was a pretty good like theater like laugh or whatever that happened like at the start of that scene where you first see like the coffin with her head just like gone.
Oh yeah.
Never mind. Like, that's fucking hilarious.
That's hilarious. They have an open casket for a decapitated.
It's so
like,
funny.
What? It is.
And then you see all like the advertisements of him when he was a kid.
It's just so weird.
But yeah, then that woman shows up.
The part, we know the part coming up, but when they
ever bust a nut so hard you kill someone?
But no, the lead up to that was so perfect, because like throughout the movie he's been told like that was how your dad died and that's how your grandparent or your grandpa died. They died having sex, and so it starts happening for him.
I just love how like scared he is the entire time.
He's so
just,
scared,
screaming and like
and then but afterwards how he's so relieved because he's like, oh, I thought I was gonna die. But then the part, I thought it was funny but so disturbing when he looks up and he sees that she's dead. That was the most disturbing shot of the movie for me.
That was freaky as, yeah.
It was freaky. But even like it was funny, like little moments to where like she would have like she put on the song and then they start going, but then she's like, I'm
Mariah Carey
start the song.
Oh my god. I didn't think I'd hear a Mariah Carey song in this movie.
Didn't Ari Aster, didn't he have some type of connection to Mariah Carey?
Does he?
I saw like a picture of them together. Yeah, wow. It was weird. Local boy meets his hero.
What?
One of these, I looked up Ari Aster.
Local boy Ari Aster meets Mariah Carey.
I just looked up Ari Aster, Mariah Carey, and the second headline is Local Boy Meets His Hero, Mariah Carey. And then it says Ari Aster, age 36, was positively beaming standing next to Mariah Carey at the April 10th after party for the premiere. Yeah, so she was at the premiere of Beau Is Afraid, I guess.
Oh, good shit.
And like,
I wonder what she thought.
The after party. I know, right? It's so weird.
Can we call this episode Local Boy Ari Aster?
It's a contender for sure. Local boy meets his hero. That could be a local boy meets his hero. Could be.
I do like that. That's good.
Yeah.
It's so random.
But to me, the whole movie gets all like so otherworldly or so like I guess confusing or just like what is going on after the people come in and like pick up the dead lady off the ground. Then I'm like, okay, we're full on like surreal shit. Like, is this happening? I'm trying to remember the order of events because
I mean, basically, his mom just like comes in and she's freaking out.
Her death.
I guess she looks nothing like the mom from like when he was a kid.
No,
honestly.
She definitely got older.
But like it's like a completely different actress, and I don't know if that was like intentional. Yeah, because maybe Beau like sees this version as like more threatening because like she's like consistently mad at him throughout this entire sequence, but like back when he was a kid she was such a different person, like so kind-hearted and everything. So maybe the like change of actress was like an intentional thing.
Could have been like that's how he sees his mom now or something, like more threatening or more I don't know, he hasn't seen her in so long, I guess. I'm just trying to remember what was her like motivation to like fake her death. There was a lot of long talking monologues and like I was just so in shock though by everything I'd seen already, so I'm trying to remember. It
feels like it was basically just a thing to teach Beau a lesson or something.
Yeah, it seemed like to teach him a lesson or to see if like was it to see if he would actually come and visit her, like you know, if he cared, I guess. That's so weird. Oh my god.
There's so many things that she says where it's like, yeah, like I get feeling frustrated by that and all that, but did you have to do all of this? Like, does that justify everything that you've done? Like, I still feel really bad for Beau.
Yeah. oh my, I don't know. It was just this is why I desperately need to watch it again, because I just really want to remember everything she was saying to him. There's a lot, but then like how the therapist comes in and like he told her everything, and oh my god, I just imagine like it's just like a nightmare, for him. It totally is.
Like everything being put on display, like
his whole like
it feels like this is the most like tortured character ever. Like he just
it seriously is.
Nothing could possibly go right at any point.
This has to be the most tragic character of all of his movies, that's for sure, of Ari Aster's movies, but in general too. I guess before the end judgment scene, like they're judging Beau, you got to talk about what's in the attic.
Yeah, Jesus.
What
Wow.
the fuck?
I don't think anyone expected that.
Nobody. But I was for a second I was actually scared, because like he goes up in the attic and it's all dark, and then you see something there, and I saw what looked like a face, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And then it's just a big dick. It's just a big big animatronic or something. I don't know what it was.
But what confuses me the most about that scene is like who the fuck the person is on the floor. It looks similar to Beau, but like thinner, and he's got like a beard. He looks like he's run down and shit. Like, who is this guy?
Well, like, what does any of this mean? I don't know. The big penis monster, though. I'm trying to think of. I don't know what that meant. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't think that everything we see is like actually real, of course.
Oh no, of course. That had to have been.
But I can go back to what I was talking about earlier with that guy at the play. He thought was his dad or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think Beau was somebody who was conceived through a rape, probably. And I think that was the guy who did it. I think that like the thing, like the dick monster in the attic, it's like some sort of way of saying like, this is your father because I don't want to come to terms with the fact that like this person like molested me, and that's why you're born. Like, I'm just going to shut everything up in the attic, and like, we're not going to talk about it ever. But then he's just like, all right, well, you want to go in the attic, so there you go.
I wish if we got Ari Aster on here, I would ask him all of these questions.
I do think that's like a solid interpretation of that, though.
That is totally, and that seems like a way that Beau totally would have been conceived. Just like, of course, he had to be conceived that way with how tragic
it would have to be. Like, I don't see any other way that it could have been, because that's not his dad in the attic. Like,
no, that's not. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of at what points they ever like mention his dad, or like
not much at all.
Not much. And he's obviously not there when he's a kid and they're on the boat and stuff. So that's a good theory.
I mean, did he have like a twin brother or something like that? Because like there's that flashback of him like in the bath and the mom's like locking the kid up in the attic and shit. Is that like a twin brother grown up or whatever later on, or is it like a version of Beau or something?
Right.
Like, I don't understand.
I was really trying to understand those too, the flashbacks. I mean, mainly the one in the bathtub. Yeah, I don't know. For a second, then I thought he was just seeing from like an outside perspective what was happening to him. I didn't know if that was like actually another person or not. I bet if I rewatch it, it'll be a lot more clear. Just because now I know what to expect. But it's fucking complicated and heavy.
Yes, but it is just a movie I want to like learn more about.
There's so much to take in and understand. Yeah,
I won't pretend to know everything, but like, yeah.
No. There's no way. I don't think you could watch this movie once and like get everything. I just don't think you could. There's no way. Yeah, and then the ending scene was like really bizarre too. Like, clearly this isn't actually happening. Like, it can't be.
I think like that entire setting is one of the most nightmarish things I've ever seen. Honestly,
how he's out on that boat and it's in like a
it actually got to me like in the moment, like just the visual look of it, all of it. I was like, this feels like it's out of an actual nightmare.
It does. Like, it really does. And like he's on display in front of everybody, and he's like being judged in front of everybody.
Yeah, and like, it's like this constant like. It feels like such a good thing to do as well. Ari Aster's like choice to have like the boat constantly malfunctioning as well. Like it's like this constant thing of anxiety, like it's probably about to blow up or whatever, like you're feeling that anxious, you're feeling anxious from the things that are going on around you, what people are saying about you. It's like an overload. Like it
really is. How just like his mom and that lawyer is like arguing over I mean, to his other lawyer who's trying to defend him.
I thought that 1-800 number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, I'm trying to think of what was the first thing that, because they were like bringing up instances from his past. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like the first instance they brought up from. Oh, it was when they were in the mall. She thought she lost him, but he was just watching her from above.
Every kid's done that.
Yeah, probably. But I like how his lawyer was just like, you just could barely hear him way over there, and he's like, he was afraid. He was afraid.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just such a weird thing, like judging someone for like mistakes, if you can even call them mistakes, from when you were like a kid, putting them on like the adult version.
I just feel like that setting, like you said, because it's such a, I feel like this had to have been straight out of like one of Ari Aster's own nightmares or dreams, like that setting. Because how else do you think of that, you know? Like, I bet he took literal nightmares that he's had. I bet he wrote them down and just put them into this movie.
Apparently the setting of it was inspired by some, like, I think it was like a painting or something like that, but like I can't quite remember too well. But yeah, like it's not like a completely original thing from what I hear, but even so, like the way it's all put together and shot and everything, like, fuck, man. I
kind of figured something would happen to Beau, because like, I mean, it's a recurring thing with all of Ari Aster's movies. They all kind of have these like tragic endings, I guess, like all of his characters do. So I mean, I knew that there would be some big ceremony at the end. He seems to have like some big weird display going on at the end of his movies to his characters. So
this one felt like the most like personal, though.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that's Beau Is Afraid, I guess.
That's Beau Is Afraid. That's why I had to talk about it last, because it's just so much to talk about and like to unpack.
Do you want to go back to those like since we didn't talk too much about the like boat sequences or anything, or like sequences with his mom when he was younger? Like, is there anything to say about that?
Those were the only points in the movie to where I was like, it didn't take me out of it at all. Like, I mean, we need those scenes, but I don't know, there's not as much to really dig into for me about those. Just
I think they chose the perfect actor. Like, he looks like Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. It just had a strange little face, that kid. He just did. But, I mean, yeah, he was good. They were all pretty good.
We gotta talk about Joaquin Phoenix. Like, fuck, man.
Yeah, this is... I mean, as always, great performance. I mean, I feel like he never gives a bad performance.
Oh, but this was, like, well up there from what I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
for
Jesus.
Sure. It really was. And, like, I'm glad that he must have, like, enjoyed making this movie, because like I said, he's already signed on to do Ari Aster's next movie from what I heard. So this seems like such a good duo. I mean, he's a weird guy in real life, or I mean, I shouldn't say that. He's a troubled guy, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
And so like and they're both, I bet, so I mean, these guys are probably both troubled guys that want to make some weird shit. So
I saw this video of him. I think he like came into like a theater where Ari Aster was like introducing the movie or whatever, or, like doing a little Q&A before it or something. And like he came in just because apparently he was like in the area and just wanted to come say hi or whatever, but he looked so like anxious and stuff. Like he was just like, hi, I'll leave you alone now, bye everyone. Like,
it's just like Beau.
Yeah, he seems like a really anxious guy.
He does. Like, during a lot of like acceptance award speeches and stuff too, like I feel like he's also an anxious. I feel like him, Ari Aster, and this character are all anxious people.
But with the movie itself as well, like I do think that the character of the mother is a very interesting character as well. Like that I'd really like to understand more about. Like they're both very interesting.
Yeah, I definitely want to know more of like why she did all this.
It seems like she just has a lot of trauma that she's not able to like combat very well, and she takes it out on others.
I mean, your theory kind of proves it right though. Like if she was raped and that's how Beau happened, then maybe she views Beau as like, you know, that traumatic part of her past too. I don't know.
Feels like when he was younger and stuff, she was able to give him so much love all the time and like, you know, care for him as much as possible, but like he started becoming more and more distant, and like maybe she just felt like she lost a lot of that and took it out in the most unhealthy way possible.
Like, pretty much, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, everything in this movie is extremely exaggerated, so it's not shocking that she did that, really. Like, if you look at everything that came before.
At that point, then, like, yeah, I'm not shocked by anything by the end. I mean, I still am by, like, the dick monster in the attic and stuff. Like, she continues to, even over a span of 3 hours, like, the fact that it can keep shocking you is pretty
impressive.
Pretty impressive, yeah. I don't know, this is just a crazy movie. It's my favorite of the year so far. I will just say that easily.
I haven't seen much, but yeah. I can't really see much beating it though. Maybe Oppenheimer, but I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Oppenheimer will definitely be up there, but I don't know, man. Beau Is Afraid, like, I haven't laughed that hard at a movie in a long time, and I haven't been, like, disturbed by a movie in a while too. So, like, it did a lot for me.
Very special movie.
It really is. It's one of a kind. I have never seen another movie like it.
I do personally think it's his best so far. Just because, just because it feels more personal to him, and it felt like he got a lot more creative with, like, the themes that he was exploring.
That's true, I guess. Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask, I guess. Yeah, how would you rank his 3 movies so far?
Right now, Beau Is Afraid, Midsummer, Hereditary. But I love them all. I do.
And that's the thing, is that literally you could rank them any way and I would be, like, fine with it. Yeah.
I will say, though, like, I don't think that Midsummer or Hereditary are perfect movies, but I think Beau Is Afraid is, like, kind of bordering on that for me, honestly.
To me, right now, they are all... I would just say they're perfect for me, but, I mean, my ranking is actually the complete opposite of yours at the moment. It's Hereditary is my number 1, and I will always have it as number 1 because it got to me so much. Like, it just really got to me, and then Midsummer, and then this, but that's only because I need to see this a lot more times. I really do. And it could totally become my second favorite or even my favorite over time.
I just think there's a lot more to explore with this one.
It is. It's his most complicated one, for sure. I mean, his other 2 are so straightforward compared to this. Like, everything that's happening is, it's just a lot more simpler. But this movie is far from simple. So I guess, no, it's his most interesting movie out of all 3 of them. And it's his most, like, complex, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's Beau Is Afraid. I guess could get on to some listener questions. All right, well, first one I got here is from @FilmForager. Chandra asked, who was the standout role for you in Guardians 3? Well, I think, like we said, Rocket,
it's
right?
Rocket, yeah.
I mean, he was the standout character in that movie.
He was the glue that held it together, I think.
Next one from @Brian_is_nerd. He asked, what they did with Rocket was very effective and beautiful. I loved this movie. So I guess it wasn't a question, but agreed.
I'll agree, yeah.
Definitely agree. Movies that don't suck said, should the Guardians continue with a new director and actors? Who would you pick?
No,
I don't think so either.
I don't want a new director or actors.
No. I don't know if the Guardians will continue on, like, from now on. I don't know. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen, but no, it should always be James Gunn.
Yeah, it really should.
From Chaz Presley, he asked...
It's a new one?
It is a new one. I haven't seen that guy ever, so thanks, first time caller. Not caller. First time questioner. From Chaz Presley, he asked, what underrated comic should be given the Guardians treatment?
You're more the comic guy than I am. I haven't read a comic in a while.
But I'm trying the Guardians treatment. Because before the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, then the Guardians of the Galaxy were not popular comic characters. Like, they just, the movies made them popular. All the comic characters I really care about have had movies by now. So
there's a lot to be done with DC.
There is a lot to be done with DC. Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure either. I wish I had a good answer.
I'll go back to my default Bueno Excelente.
Yeah. Yeah, just do that. Last question from All Right So Reviews. Ari Aster overrated? No.
I don't think so.
No, he's not.
He gets enough criticism to be perfectly rated, I think.
He's probably perfectly rated, but to be honest, I don't know. I mean, he's only 3 movies in, and I think they're all perfect, and even, like, people still aren't really going to see Beau Is Afraid, like, as much as other movies out right now. I don't know. I would almost say he's still underrated, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Beau Is Afraid is killing it or anything. I don't think it's, like, doing great or whatever. Certainly not as great as
Yeah.
Hereditary or Midsummer.
No, it's not as accessible of a movie as Hereditary or Midsummer. You know, I'd still say he's either perfectly rated or underrated still. He is hit the mark, 5-star every time for me. So
He's not a director where I before Beau Is Afraid, I didn't really like suck his dick too much or anything like that. I didn't think he was like super perfect or whatever. I think he was flawed. But I still loved his movies. But it's just like Beau Is Afraid made me love him a lot more, and I can't wait to see what he does from here. But I think he's
for
perfectly
sure.
rated. He's not overrated, really.
No, definitely not. And that was the last question. We want to thank our lovely, awesome patrons. Thank you so much. Starting off with Kath.reviews. Kath, thank you.
Thanks,
Love you.
Kath. And yeah, moving underscore pictures. Julia. Thanks, Julia.
Yeah. And then Sarah's Popcorn Chat. Thank you for being a Patreon as well.
And Ardor Film, Amy. Thank you very much.
And lastly, Luna underscore, wait, is it 2 or 3?
3.
I don't know. 3 underscore Pearl. Thank you.
Thanks, mother.
If you want to be a patron, you
Yeah.
can check out the link in our description of the episode or the description of the podcast, and check out the podcast Instagram at podcast.
You can donate as little as $1, and it helps us very, very much.
True. You can either go through Patreon or you can go through the other link that Anchor provides. We would appreciate any help because it all goes towards the artwork that we do for every episode. Not a single penny goes into our own pockets, so it's all for the podcast. Nope.
It's all for the podcast.
Definitely not.
Thanks for all the support so far, and thanks for all the listeners. We appreciate you. 30 episodes. Fuck yeah.
30 episodes. That's crazy.
At 50 episodes, can we please do like a spicy thing? That would be so cool. Like just have like spicy food before the episode
literally
starts.
a
And then we
spicy
have to like
food.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we
You
can
have
do
to like
that,
spend the
yeah.
episode talking about
Like the
movies
hot
while also
ones.
dying. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just have a Hot Ones interview. That would be fun.
Yeah, if you would rate the podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that would be very great. We would love that. 5 stars if you please.
Oh yeah, and you can find me on Instagram at Views by Quinn, and also on Letterboxd, Music Board, Serialized, Goodreads, literally all the social medias. Just check out the link tree in the description, and I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, and you can find me at Movies Music Me on pretty much everything. YouTube, Letterboxd, Instagram. Recently got back on Twitch again, so if you want to come over there, that's Movies Music Me 1. That's pretty much it, I think.
I think I want to start, and when I move into my new apartment next month, then I want to try and get on Twitch every now and then too. I told myself I would. And I've only done it
could
like
do
once.
Apex together. That'd be fun.
We could. Yeah, could do Apex. That's about it.
That's about
Thanks
it.
for listening, everybody.
Joy, you're gonna wave.
Oh yeah, wave. Bye. Bye.
Did you see that hiss?
Oh my god, she hissed at you there.
Bye, everybody.
Peace out, bitches.